We're here on René Lévesque Boulevard in Montreal as hundreds of First Nations people from across Quebec and Labrador are here at the behest of the Assembly of First Nations of Quebec and Labrador to talk to the Canadian people and to the political parties to let them know that in this election, First Nations count.
That's right, yeah. Well, obviously the weather is something that maybe might have had some people, back down at the last minute, but it's a good turnout, and we, considering that we had 5-6 days to organize this, fairly good turnout. A lot of people from our nations and communities, but also a lot of supporters from non-Aboriginal community. Yeah.
A lot of good spirit here, and I guess that's one of the messages. Even though we want the Canadian people to know that Native people need to be listened to, at the same time, it's positive here today.
Yeah, very positive. I think we wanted it to be that way. I think for this one day, we just wanted to show where for parties to know where our issues should stand, and to me, this is one thing, and we're doing a peaceful march, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. I think it's also some kind of notice to the next government, after the election, that they have to, put some priority on our issues. So that's the situation that we have, and so hopefully this will have a ripple effect from today till the election. I think we need to mobilize, all of our nations across the country.
Definitely, and I think as much as there are all kinds of other things happening in the city at this time, this is one of the most important events, if not the most important event, and that is to make sure that not only Montrealers, Quebecers, Canadians in general get to understand, that we're taking a position that we're not going to be irrelevant anymore. We're going to be very relevant in the scheme of things.
There's a good spirit. There's good spirit here today, and I guess a positive vibe. But one of the messages is that if nobody listens, that vibe might not remain.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is the beginning of possible other many things happening in the country. Today, there are things that are going on across Canada in conjunction with this. So, and in the coming weeks in Kahnawake, I feel that we should begin to do our part too in demonstrating our dissatisfaction with our relationship with Canada.
That is the theme that we're having here today, and it's a matter of fact, it's something that brought us all together here. We've been neglected for so many years, and now we're making sure that our voices are being heard.
Well, it was nice to see that just about every nation in Quebec is here today.
Yes, actually, it's a very good turnout, even though the weather was not as good as we would like it to be, but doesn't matter. Our hearts are full of sunshine, and we're moving forward, and we're going to make this government understand that we count, like the sign says.
Well, I think, we need to really, as the federal election approaches, we really need to bring some awareness to our issues across the country, and part of the AFNQL was one of these initiatives to at least get Canadians starting to think about it. As the election gets closer, all the national debates are going on and things like that, and our issues aren't hitting the table. And I think it's, we need people to start thinking about that. We are the first people here, and these our issues are fundamental issues to this country, and as the voters go to the poll, they need to remember that and do a little bit of research on that. That's all we're asking.
What we're seeing here today is a march of forgotten people.
It's a little bit different. I wish the sun was shining, but still it's good to see a lot of First Nations coming from all over Quebec. And the thing is, I think the government will realize that we're here and we do count.
Well, I'm glad to be part, to see and hear from myself, everybody gathering here today. We need to do more of this. I think we need to make a peaceful presence whenever we get a chance. We have to teach Quebecois, Montrealers, and Canadians what our story is, who we are, if we're ever going to connect to them. So I'm looking forward to see the speeches with Chief Joe Norton, Ghislain Picard, everyone else.
This is something very significant. I'm glad to see that the chiefs of Quebec have gotten together to send a message. This election is going to be very crucial for the future for First Nations. Harper has been very damaging, and for us, we have to speak out, and this is saying no more. And that the next government that comes in needs to realize we are a nation and we need to negotiate nation to nation. We are not subjects, we are allies.
Bien, ici, on est ici aujourd'hui pour dénoncer encore l'indifférence au niveau fédéral. On a encore beaucoup de difficultés à se faire entendre. Dans la campagne électorale, malheureusement, l'enjeu autochtone n'est pas encore assez présent. Les leaders ne veulent pas se prononcer clairement. Puis on est ici pour ça, pour démontrer qu'on était toujours là, on est encore là, puis on va toujours être là. Puis c'est un peu pour ça, pour le rappeler que finalement, les Premières Nations comptent toujours, puis on va toujours être ici.
Like you said, a lot of unity for our sister communities, and just to get our message out any way we could. And it's good to meet other fellow chiefs from, especially close by, like Aguazaste, guys I knew, and it's important to come together and send our message.
I think it will. You know, you can't deny. I mean, the day is not exactly the greatest day, but I mean, people still have turned out. People came from all over the place to get here. You know, elected councils are here. People, just regular community members, and non-native people are here to support us as well. So I think that really means something. And I think the governments need to open their eyes and look and take note that we are here. We're not going nowhere, and you better start listening.
Well, like they wanted to organize something that would bring attention, I guess get the candidates' attention during this election. We'll see what happens in their next debate, see if anything changes.
Mm-hmm. What do we want to see change?
Do you want the short list or the long one? Well, first of all, honor the promises of the treaties. Start with that. That's already a pretty good start. Half our arguments are just, if you settle that, half our arguments are done.
Me, what I'm telling my people is, I just say to them, I'm not forcing them to vote. I'm not saying which one to vote for. It's their own choice. But what I tell them is, I say it's important now to vote. You know, we'd always be put on the side, and it's gonna still be like that if we don't try to get our voice heard. And by voting, that's where we're gonna get a voice heard. And like I said before too, if you want to change something, why not change it? Be part of the change. Change it from the inside. So that's what I think. That's my belief. Like, yes, we represent a certain percentage of the population, but we're growing more of us, and it's gonna double in the next 20 years. And I think it's time for us to get part of that boat and do something that change from the inside.
Just to be a small part of a growing force that's talking about First Nations issues, either on a municipal level, provincial level, or in Kahnawake's case, like the federal level, and a little bit of provincial too. So the elections don't mean that much to me. It's just a small little speed bump in the course of events. Hopefully there'll be progress in terms of First Nations issues across the board.
Of today's gathering.
I'm here today to represent, I guess, urban Aboriginals. I think that turnout is amazing. I think that there's going to be more voters, First Nations voters, than ever. I think they said like 44% was the last turnout. I think it's going to be closer to 80, but don't quote me. But you can, actually.
We are quoting you in this case. What's the sense you get of today?
Just unity. That people are coming together from all different nations to say that we do matter, that our voice counts, and that we are going to make a change. Change is going to happen. I think most of the change happens at a grassroots level, but we're going to let the government know that we don't like what's happening.
Hey, Tim?
Well, you know why? Because I noticed that all the political parties have waited till the end of the campaign to start talking about Native issues, where they should have done that a long time ago, and we are here to make them accountable for it. Let them know that we are listening to them and that we are going to expect to see results. It's not, as it is in a campaign. You're going to promise everything, right? With Trudeau, with his in 5 years there'll be no boil water advisory, where there's been some for 17 years, and everything else. We're going to see if we're going to hold them. We're going to hold them up to it.
Well, it was really important to see how First Nations are coming together and finally doing something so different, which is supporting our issues. And the federal government has not heard our issues in the past, and now this is something new. It's exciting, and I think it's really positive.
I think it was amazing, it was important, and like I said to Ghislain this morning, I said, today, I hope that people think that it's not only a one-day issue, but it's an everyday issue, not only for us Indigenous people, but for all Canadians across Canada. So it is great.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's you don't know what's going to happen in these situations. You hope for the best, but we couldn't ask for better. You know, the atmosphere, the people, and the speakers and everything, the organization really went well, and I really appreciated the effort that was put into this because. I mean, even though it was like in the works for a couple of weeks, it still is a short time period, you know, in which to get things organized. Some people take some months and months and months, but with our people, we're mobilized, we're ready to do things very quickly, and that's what I enjoyed about it.